The Steam Summer Sale is here. It's moments like these that a lot of people wait for things to go on sale and will purchase games for the first time. I think a lot of people are going to be purchasing Fallout 4 for the very first time, and with that in mind, I wanted to help guide an introduction into modding. There is a ton of mods out there ranging from armor, weapon, effects, weather, but I would advise not just jumping off and downloading tons of mods, only download a few, and that's what this video is going to be all about. Some mods that you should download right off the bat that'll enhance the game, but not really change it too much. You should experience Fallout 4 at least somewhat before jumping into modding, because you'll probably never go back. Regardless, again, these are a few mods that really just prove to enhance the game, make things a bit better without changing it too much so it gets away from the core experience that you are meant to have. If you are watching this and already own Fallout 4, there is also a bunch of the DLC on sale for very cheap. I would definitely recommend checking that out on Steam, or if you did just purchase the game and you are just jumping into it, I do have a channel dedicated to Fallout 4 mods, so you can get subscribed if you want to see more content about this. Regardless, with all that being said, we're just going to jump straight into it. Bethesda released a buggy game with Fallout 4. That's just a simple reality. It's unfortunate, but fortunately we do have mods to fix that. One mod that you should just download right off the bat, even if you just want to have as raw an experience as possible, is the Unofficial Fallout 4 patch. All this is going to do is make it so Fallout 4 has less bugs. It doesn't modify anything. You're not going to play the game in a different way. The only difference is you might get stuck in less locations, you might crash less, and hopefully you don't lose any companions along the way, as long as you have this on your side. Again, it's a very simple mod, or a very complex mod depending on how you look at it, but I would just download it, use it. It is the one-stop shop for all your fixes for Fallout 4, and honestly it's continued to be updated even till this last week, so you can be sure it is going to be some quality content. So moving on, we have what is probably going to be the mod that changes the game the most. That's going to be NPCs Travel. This is a really great mod that I think should have been in the base game. Basically, right now in Fallout 4, as you travel from location to location, you're going to find that there's not many people you do encounter. At each of the major locations, yes, the cities are sprawling, you're going to see a lot of enemies or allies, but especially if you're playing on survival, which I do highly recommend, you're going to kind of have a long period of, well, there's just nothing but some bugs, grass, and nothing all that interesting. NPCs Travel is going to place down a bunch of very lore-friendly and vanilla-looking NPCs that are just traveling. You could trade with some of them will try to attack you. There is a bunch of settings to configure, but if you want to, you can just download the mod and go from there. It really is something that just feels like it should have been in the base game. There's no big performance hit or anything like that. It does use some of the major factions NPCs, so you can see some Brotherhood of Steel walking down the road. And again, I really just think it's a huge improvement on the game, and something that if you're playing on survival, you will surely miss if you don't have it. Alright, so I probably beat this one to a dead horse. This is my favorite mod for Fallout 4, that with see-through combat scopes. In vanilla Fallout 4, the scopes kind of have a weird thing where if you zoom in, it cuts to a black screen really fast. It makes it very difficult if you want to play kind of a high-octane or high-pace game. Switching from enemy to enemy is very difficult because you get this little black screen, and it's very clunky. I don't like the feel of it. See-through combat scopes, all it's going to do is add in scopes for all the major guns that do feel more like the way a scope would work in any other game out there. I personally, again, think it's a huge improvement. It's my one mod that I need every time I play Fallout 4. There's two versions, one that just adds in new scopes and one that replaces the default scope, so you'll find them on NPCs also. This is also something you're going to find on a ton of weapon mods if you do venture into that later on, but for the time being, I really think this is just one of those mods that is going to make your game a bit better without changing all that much. So then we have automatically lowered weapons. A huge complaint about Fallout 4 is you always have your weapon kind of just pointed up while you're traveling around. Even when you're with allies, it just gets a little bit weird and it takes up a lot of your screen. What automatically lowered weapons is going to do is actually implement a script into your game. So now when you're around different enemies, your weapon will automatically be raised if they're in a certain range or you recently attacked them. Some of the other lowered weapon mods don't do this. They just lower your weapons after a set amount of time. This one does actually detect if enemies are nearby, but then if there aren't enemies nearby, your weapon will go back to lowered and you'll be able to converse freely without feeling like somebody else has a gun in their face. Again, it's a really small quality of life mod, but I think it does make a big difference, especially if you plan to dump a ton of hours into the game even just this weekend. You'll probably find pretty quickly that holding guns up like that all the time does get a little bit obnoxious. So last but certainly not least, there is Place Everywhere. This is a great mod for settlement building. You're going to find very quickly that the settlement system in Fallout 4, although a pretty cool aspect that some people enjoy more than others, does have this really frustrating feature where things will get clipped or you just won't be able to place things somewhere and you don't really know why. Place Anywhere is a great solution for that. It's going to allow you to place things much more freely and frankly just make better use of the settlement system. On Fallout 4 on PC, it does require F4SE, which might be a little bit confusing to download download at first, but I definitely think it's worth it. It's really not all that difficult. You just kind of drag and drop and then launch from something else. But again, this is a very important mod that I think a lot of you guys will be happy to use. It really opens up the settlement system much more, so you're not as restricted with just actual red restrictions. The snapping and all that still works. It just makes it so, again, you're going to be able to build a bit more freely and hopefully more creatively. That's pretty much going to wrap it up. Again, if you guys do want to get into some of the weapon and armor mods, I wouldn't recommend doing it right away, but if you play 5 hours and you're like, all right, this is a little bit boring, there's another video I did make called 10 essential mods. It goes over some of the similar things. There's a lot of overlap between that video and this video, but this one I really just wanted it to appeal to people that are only playing Fallout 4 for the first time. That other video is more for like, all right, I am only getting it for a free weekend. I want to get the most bang for my buck for mods, and that's where you'll find a lot of the mods that I think will really showcase how great modding can be. Regardless, that's pretty much going to wrap it up again. Let me know in the comments down below if you think there's anything I missed. I tried to cover just about everything without getting too intrusive into modding. As always, again, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see all of you next time. Later.